The Tigers hit the road. Cleveland hits the road too. They go to the desert. Toledo continues their road trip as they go to Gwinnett. Well, after they lost 3-4 to Charlotte, who is the worst team in the International League. But tonight, the Tigers got to get and continue their winning ways in one of my favorite states in the whole place.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas. I love you guys, and welcome in to another edition of Andy Alfred during the summer sizzling edition on your exclusive home for me, ClayFan23. I am your host, Andy Alfred, welcoming you into the program and welcome into the Man Cave Studios in East Toledo. It's truly a pleasure to be with you guys today on the program. Today on the program, we'll preview the Detroit Tigers series with the Texas Rangers in the ballpark in Arlington. We also preview the series for the Indians as they hit the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on this big road trip for them as well, too. We'll break down what happened yesterday in the world of baseball, as well as World Cup action. You know, we got to talk about it. And it is just a very, very interesting development holding on here for the Mud Hens. I've just been informed of something right now. LeBron James is leaving the Miami Heat. Who would have guessed it? Where's he going to go? Is he going to Houston? Is he going to Chicago with Melo? I think Carmelo will be the drop spot for him, is in Chicago in the UC. I think he's a good position to do that. I think LeBron is going to try to be like Jordan and go to play in Jordan's former house, the United Center. And that happens, all bets are off. The Bulls are a team to watch out for. Rose, Noah, if you get Melo and LeBron, you imagine what our division is going to be like, Cavs fans? Seeing the piece of dirt. Let me repeat, the piece of dirt play day in and day out over 300, 500 miles away. Oh, it will be horrible. Horrible. LeBron opting out of his contract. I think he's just trying to get a better deal for Pat Riley to get players, to recruit players to bring them into Miami. I don't think he'll leave, but I think he will. But I have a feeling he's going to leave. But I have a feeling. There's like a 10% spot, like over here in this brain spectrum right here, that believes that he's leaving. I'd like to see him back in Cleveland. Now, you all will criticize me and hate me all you want. But young talent helps you out. Kyrie, Waiters. Z's not. Andy's not getting old. Andy's getting old. And this number one pick that we're going to be picking on Thursday night is going to be interesting. I think we're going to pick that kid from Kansas. Not Kansas, but Kentucky. This Parker. I think he's going to be picked up by the Cavs. I have that feeling. But we'll get into that on Thursday's episode of All Andy Alfred with the NBA draft. Let's talk about what happened last night on the Diamond in Charlotte at the MB&T ballpark in Uptown Charlotte. The Knights picking up a big victory, 8-6 over the Mud Hens. Axelrod getting the win. He goes to 4-6 with a 4.25 ERA. Derek Hankins gets the loss. He goes to 3-8 with a 6.17 ERA. Jordan Leonardson homered, his fourth of the season. Davison, Wilkins, and Danks all homered for the Knights, and Hankins had a horrible outing. what we are reporting, hearing in Charlotte. But tonight the Mud Hens will try to get back onto the winning page, losing 3 of 4 in Charlotte. Now head to Gwinnett to take on the Braves. Dwayne Below on the hill, 6-1 with a 3.94 ERA. He'll take on Northcraft, who is making his AAA debut with the Gwinnett Braves tonight. Tomorrow night it will be Kyle Lopstein on the hill, 4-7, 3.62 ERA. Martin on the hill for Gwinnett. He is 4-6 with a 3.17 ERA. Verhagen will start for Toledo on Thursday. He's 3-7 with a 4.07 ERA. Gwinnett has not yet named a starter for Thursday's night's game. Looking at the IL West standings, Indianapolis leads the division. They're 45-32, 5-5 in their last 10. Columbus is 41-36, 4 games out of first place, 7-3 in their last 10. Louisville is in third place. They're 40-38, 5.5 out, 6-4 in their last 10, and then Toledo 37-41, 8.5 games out, 5-5 in their last 10. Come on, Hens, let's pick it up. 8.5 out, 56 is the number of games left for elimination. The countdown is on. The countdown is on. In Major League Baseball yesterday, the Tigers and the Indians were off, but there were a lot of baseball games going on yesterday. St. Louis was a winner 8-0 over Colorado. Washington 3, Milwaukee 0. And Tim Kurkjian running around the bases as in the sausage race. He looked pathetic. He looked like he didn't know where he was going. I'm Tim Kurkjian. Oh, come on, give me a break. And then ESPN analyzing it with the Chevy Clubhouse thing from that with Barry Larkin. That's pathetic. That is honestly pathetic. You gotta be kidding me. That's a waste of a segment. It must have been a slow news night in the sports world. Kansas City was a winner 5-3 over the Dodgers. Cincinnati was a winner 6-1 over the Cubbies. Pittsburgh 8, Tampa Bay 1. The Toronto Blue Jays were a winner 8-3 over the New York Yankees. Minnesota was not in action, of course, last night as well too. Miami was 4-0 winners over the Phillies. Baltimore crushed Davis, a 3-1 3-run walk-off home run against the White Sox, and Baltimore wins 6-4. San Diego 6, the Giants nothing, and Boston was a loser 12-2 to the Seattle Mariners. Well, tonight, of course, like I played it in the beginning, the Cleveland Indians are on the road. They'll take on the Arizona Diamondbacks, of course. Diamondbacks will throw out Miley on the hill, 3-6 with a 4.62 ERA. The Indians will counteract with one Mr. Justin Masterson. Justin Masterson now record is 4-5 with a 4.75 ERA. 9 o'clock start time for that one. Corey Kluber on the hill for Wednesday. He is 6-5 with a 3.30 ERA. He'll take on Anderson, who's 5-2 with a 3.18 ERA. Then the Tribe then hits the road and continue on and head up to the great northwest of Fraser Crane Land and the Seattle Mariners. Well, tonight as well too, in the heat of the heat, of course.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas, the Tigers hit the road to take on the Texas Rangers. Drew Smiley on the hill tonight. He is 3-6 with a 3.48 ERA. Colby Lewis, my apologies, 5-4 with a 5.97 ERA. Game time for that one is at 8:05. Wednesday will be Anibal Sanchez on the hill, 4-2 with a 2.23 ERA. He'll take on Testament, who's 2-3 with a 4.38 ERA. Thursday's matchup will be Rick Porcello versus Martinez. Martinez 1-4 with a 4.22 ERA. Porcello 9-4 with a 3.76 ERA. 8:05 start times for those games before hitting the road to take on the Houston Astros on Friday afternoon. All games on Fox Sports Detroit, and for the Indians, all games on Fox Sports Time. Tonight's game is also on MLB Network. So looking at those games, here's the standings going into tonight's play. Detroit is 40-32, 6-4 in their last 10. Kansas City is 40-36, 2 games out, 6-4 in their last 10. Cleveland is 37-39, 5 games out, 4-6 in their last 10. Minnesota is 36-38, 5 games out, 5-5 in their last 10. And rounding out the division is the Chicago White Sox, 35-42, 7.5 out, 2-8 in their last 10 games. Ole, 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 World Cup Roundup time here for on all Andy Alfred. Of course, today is double games going on in the World Cup action. England and Costa Rica finished off as 0-0 tie. England officially eliminated from competition. Italy loses 1-0 to Uruguay. Uruguay and Costa Rica move on to the knockout round. Uruguay wins 1-0, and the Italian coach resigned after the game today. So that is a big statement to say to the Italian people. They've been knocked out, not in the knockout round in over the last two World Cups in the last 8 years. Right now, Greece and the Ivory Coast are in action. Greece up 1-0 on the Ivory Coast, and Colombia is up 2-1 on Japan. Colombia wins this game, they'll win the group. Greece would be officially in as the second team. Ivory Coast and Japan would be knocked out. Well, tonight in Las Vegas, Nevada, it is the NHL Awards on NBCSN and on CBC. 8 o'clock start time as well, too. The big award spectra, which ends the 2013-2014 season. But Friday starts the 2014-2015 season with the NHL Draft. Yours truly right here on Friday will be breaking down the mock drafts, giving you who the Jackets, who the Red Wings, and who the Penguins should pick up in the first round as well, too, on Friday's program. So much to talk about. I hope you can join us on Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred. Hey, the NHL Hall of Fame was announced. There are 8 candidates. Here are some names for you. Dominik Hasek, the Dominator, goes into the he will be going into the Hall of Fame. Mr. NHL, Mr. USA, Mike Modano is going into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you, Mike. Peter Forsberg, one of the great enforcers of our time, is going into the Hall of Fame as well, too. Rob Blake, former Bowling Green State University hockey player, Hobie Baker Award winner, and former LA King will be going into the Hall of Fame as well, too. And here's the sweet one, Pat Burns. If you don't know who Pat Burns is, Pat Burns coached the Toronto Maple Leafs, getting them into the conference finals in the 90s, and good friend of Don Cherry, and Don Cherry gives a lot of props to Pat Burns a lot. So Pat finally going to the Hall of Fame. I bet you Donald Les will put him into the Hall of Fame, will induct himself into the Hall of Fame. Recommendations for you. Also, don't forget, this week on Thursday's edition of All Andy Alfred, we'll preview the NBA Draft. We'll preview on Friday's edition of the NHL Draft, as well as the Mud Hens returning home on the 28th and 29th and the 2nd and 3rd of July for a game against the Columbus Clippers. Also, go out and see this movie. Tonight's Tuesday night, and there's not that much really going on besides the Tigers and Indians, because you can watch that at 8 o'clock. But if you're watching this afternoon, a good movie to go see, 22 Jump Street with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. A hilarious movie. Also with Ice Cube as well, too. Hilarious. It got me cracking up in the aisles. Recommendation for you guys to go see that movie. Very good movie as well. Well, tomorrow on the program we will preview we'll recap tonight's games for the Tigers and the Indians, as well as the Mud Hens too. We'll also talk a little bit about the World Cup action, as well as so much more on the edition of All Andy Alfred tomorrow on the program. We're going to be doing an early edition. Yours truly will be going out to the golf course tomorrow afternoon we'll play a couple rounds with a good friend of mine. So we'll see what happens with that. And we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, ClayFan23. Until then, I am Andy Alfred. I hope you have a terrific evening. And as always, go Tigers! Go Tribe! Let's go Hens! And go USA! 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 Oh, forgot to mention something else too. On Tuesday's edition of All Andy Alfred, this upcoming Tuesday's edition will be a tradition like no other. It is the Canada Day episode of All Andy Alfred. I hope you all will be able to join us We'll be rocking the Canadian swag as well as so much more. That's on Tuesday's edition of All Andy Alfred on the 1st of July. Of course, we'll have our big 4th of July spectacular on Friday's edition of All Andy Alfred. Hope you can tune in for these shows and so much more coming up on this summer sizzling edition of All Andy Alfred. As always, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. The game of life. And to the teams behind me. And to your team at home as well. Victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for another edition of All Andy Alfred. Can we play Pee Wee one more time? I think we're going to play Pee Wee Herman one more time.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
See you tomorrow.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas.
See you tomorrow.
The